Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about my biggest challenge that I am currently facing as I end the MIT program. So, in my current role, the biggest challenge that I am facing is how to navigate teaching. I don't want to say post-pandemic because it's very much still going on, but now going on year 3 of teaching in this pandemic. We are starting to see some things, especially in our students, as far as their learning gaps, their behaviors in the classroom, and that social emotional aspect. There have been many, many challenges that we've faced throughout this school year that has been challenging to navigate as educators. So my audience is my students, and a few of those things that I talked about, as the year has progressed, as teachers, we've had to ask ourselves, how do we address the learning gaps that we are seeing from our students? I teach 6th grade, so maybe learning gaps that may have occurred because the end of their 4th grade year and they were at home, and then their 5th grade year, they may have been hybrid, they may have been in person, or they may have been fully virtual. So we're definitely seeing some different gaps in our students because of that. And then the second challenge is behavior. For some of these kids, they're almost stuck in that, like, if they were fully virtual last year, they're stuck in that 4th grade mindset. But there's a huge difference between 4th grade and 6th grade. So having them relearn all of our expectations and what expected behavior looks like here in the classroom. And then the social emotional piece. And I think this is a huge piece. We've all been greatly affected by this pandemic. It has been very, very challenging. So also taking that into consideration as well. Are our students, feeling anxious? Are they feeling depressed? What is going on at home? Have they lost loved ones? So all of these things put together makes for a very interesting classroom dynamic, especially when you are trying to, plug forward and just, go day to day as best as you can. So this year has been challenging. I think as we progress through this pandemic, we will certainly learn more and we will find our new normal. But this year has been particularly challenging in that sense. The ISTE standards that I have found exceptionally helpful to help me through this as I've been, planning and working through this program have been the standards for educators. And I've been focusing on the standards for design, facilitation, and then analyst. So the first one is, how can I use the technology that we have available to us here in the classroom to adapt and personalize my students' learning to their individual level? Can I use the technology to address the learning gaps? Is there something that I can do to help with their social emotional learning, to get them to be able to engage with their peers? So that is the first one that I have found to been really helpful to accommodate those learner differences. And then the second one is for me as a facilitator, to help myself create those learning opportunities that both challenge myself, but my students and their critical thinking. And then last but not least, analyst. So as we have gone through this year, I have found it to be very important to take a minute to kind of analyze where my students are at, do a little bit more of self-reflection. And I have felt that the standards have helped me in that respect to analyze where my students are at and to see if I need to modify and take a different approach to kind of figure out what's working and what's not. So overall, that is just, a little picture of my biggest challenge that I have been facing this year. I have found that this program and all of the assignments that we have done for this program, as well coupled with the following the ISTE standards, have really helped me to take a deeper look at where my students are and what I can do for them, to help them learn through this pandemic. So I wanted to thank everybody for listening, and I will see you later.